Hello, this is Greg Gaussman, Green Greg. It's coming to you on the 26th of July, 21. Time on deck, 23:0800 hours Central Daylight Time. Did you know that the Russians are planning to build not one, but two brand new Doomsday planes? Now, we all know that the United States had a Doomsday plane. We know that Russia had one. But now they're building two new Doomsday planes. And furthermore, Vladimir Putin made a statement that the Russians could have sunk the British warship, the HMS Defender, and not started World War III. They said, we're going to sink the ship of the other side, and that's all right. We're not going to start World War III. Well, that's a rather cocky assertion, is it not? And on top of that, Russia believes, of course, they believe that, we're not going to attack them, and the reason for that is that they'll win World War III. In fact, Putin has said that Russia will easily win World War III. And I'm going to show you why. Not from so much from the weapon system standpoint. We're not going to forget about the fact that they have this Poseidon nuclear torpedo that could cause a radioactive tsunami, which they could equip. They're claiming 2 megaton nuclear devices, but it's sized to take the 100 megaton Sarbama. We're talking tsunamis of unbelievable proportion if they do that. So it's what it is sized for, my friends. Yikes. And on top of that, of course, they got, like I said, they got that Zircon the hypervelocity missile. They're working on a nuclear-powered, what we call Skyfall nuclear missile that would just fly around for practically ever, and then decide to hit. And then they got their Sarmat, Satan II missile that could actually fly over Antarctica, come get us over the south end, with enough with like 12 warheads in each one, cover an area the size of France or Texas. But forget all that. I'm going to show you why else they think they're safe, why they think they can survive, not just wage the war, but why they actually think they can survive it. Now, here's what bothers me. Here we are with Putin making these kind of statements so cavalierly while he is putting his Navy down, training right off the coast of Hawaii. At the same time that the Japanese are warning us, yes, of a potential Pearl Harbor from Russia or China or both. And all these things. And matter of fact, also, their Navy has been going around Great Britain. What's going on, guys? Why are they getting so cocky now? Why is nuclear war suddenly so easily fathomed? Because it's so horrible a condition. Nobody should ever even think about it in such terms, let alone talk about it. Just as we know, China just basically, hopefully bluffed Japan, claiming that they would, if Japan put one soldier, one aircraft, or one ship in the defense of Taiwan, when China is going to go militarily and strike and attack Taiwan to liberate them, that they would start initially and bomb with nuclear bombs Japan, bomb them continuously until they unconditionally strike. Now, see, we got all kind of statements being made right now. They're just off the charts, guys. So that's what you need to bear in mind. We're going to go into this stuff. We're going to talk about a little bit why Russia thinks they can survive. But think about this. If we do have a nuclear war, I tell you all the time to plant a garden. And that's what I think is your best means of survival, is growing your own food as much as you can. Because the wild game is going to be gone no time flat. I do have videos about eating wild edibles. But if you really want the calories and the nutrition, you need to grow your own. And furthermore, so you watch my videos about that. Oh yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the update notification bell, and click all, so you can see those kind of videos. The videos about gardening, which teach you how to garden without having to go to the store. The videos about how to get free wild edibles from the weeds and trees. But in a nuclear winter, the wild edibles are going to be dormant. Get yourself the roots. You're not going to be growing your food. The food you're going to have is food that you have stored up. I've done a couple of videos going to big box stores, but let me tell you what. I got a special deal for you right now. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, you can get $300 off long-term food. It can last 25 years. It's easy to store, easy to carry, these big, nice buckets. And then once you use up these buckets, has other good purposes. You can let your imagination Come with a zillion purposes for these buckets, but it comes in also nice to carry pouches that you can put in Bugout bags and easily carry, unlike big can. That little pouch is 4 servings. Unlike this big old can, big old tough hard can, you want feel good in your backpack, which is only 2 servings. So there you go, guys. It's 2,000 calories a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner make you a winner. $300 off. You get 6 of those buckets with a 3-month supply, and you get 25% off on 1 month supply, which right now is about $74 and some change. Guys, a great deal. You can't beat it. That's an investment right now. The food prices are going up. That's just absolutely an investment. It's a good deal, no matter how you shake it. All right. Yeah, these kind of times we're talking about the nuclear winter, that's the kind of stuff you need. You need stuff that's going to last. And the good thing about that is it's a lot more portable than those bags of beans and rice. Maybe a little more expensive, but not, hey, we're only talking, $2, 60-something cents a meal with a $300 price break. That's amazing. Okay, let's get into this. Some people say, okay, why do you do this? That's good for you. Because that's the kind of stuff you're going to need when it hits the fan, honestly. You really are. So I'll talk a bit more about that later. Now, all right, listen, guys. Let's talk about Russia. Let's talk about these Doomsday planes and what they actually mean. So Putin has actually commissioned these Doomsday planes as he prepares for nuclear war amid the tensions that are growing right now. We all know that these tensions have been ratcheting up with their activities in and around Crimea, which they have claimed as their own, and in Ukraine. Let me say Yugoslavia for some reason. Yes, Ukraine. We know that. So I have a friend from Serbia, so that's why my mind went there. So yeah, the thing is that Russia is building two new planes that will be used to evacuate the top Kremlin officials. So it's not just Putin and his staff, but top Kremlin officials, and so they can have aerial command posts. I guess they got some kind of redundancy with these 2 planes. Once they got their old plane, they might still use it too. So that's what they claim in their state-owned news agency. The report from RIA Novosti. RIA Novosti, I hope I said it right. They revealed this and said that the jets are already on work in the city of Voronezh. All right, so it's the city is 321 miles south of Moscow. So they're building these planes. They're already under construction. And they claim they're going to be used again to evacuate the country's senior leadership and coordinate troops in the case of a destruction of ground and satellite infrastructure. So this is, they're looking to be able to use these in case they've already taken hits, major hits. But this will be the command centers. They got command centers on the ground. So this is to augment those. The so-called Doomsday plans are named for the ability to withstand a nuclear blast, which means they are EMP hardened. They will be hooked up with technology so that they can manage Russia's nuclear defenses. And this includes their submarines at sea. It includes their bombers. It includes their missile bases, all the missile silos. We're up to 3,700 miles away. That's how far each of these planes can exert control. Of course, that's going to depend on the altitude it flies, how far this line of sight radio communications go. Hey, you flat earthers. How's that working on flat earth? But, and the planes, these 2 planes are set to replace the II-80 aircraft that they have today. So they will be windowless. They'll be windowless for the purpose to protect the passengers on board from the nuclear blast. Even the flash can blind you from the nuclear blast. So that's a good reason to have them windowless. It also makes the plane a better Faraday cage, which makes it easier to protect from EMPs. And again, effects of the nuclear blast. So that's what we have here. Now we're going to talk about the means of survival and things like that. But just bear in mind that Putin, when the HMS Defender was in the Black Sea, coming close to Crimea, had threatened to sink the ship, and later said that he could have sunk it without starting World War III. Is that crazy? And of course, then on top of that, he comes out and says that Russia would easily win World War III. He says, I don't think World War III would happen. And the reason is because Russia would easily win, not win, easily win World War III. Well, I think the whole notion of winners and losers is a little bit vacant with the aftermath that you would have of a World War III, especially after a nuclear winter, after wrecking the planet. But these people don't think about such things. They don't think about themselves. And actually, Russia does have some major advantages and preparations for a World War III. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some articles here with you guys. We're going to go into the share mode. Give me a second. Share screen. And here we go. Bing. Moscow is ready for nuclear war, as in lots of bunkers for the population. Now, it was about a year ago, they just did a drill exercise, where they put 40 million people in Moscow in bunkers. There's a lot of people to put in bunkers. Greg, it's not possible. Well, the entire subway system in Moscow is one giant bunker system. And it's not the only bunkers they have. And I've been in these subways. They are deep underground. They're the deepest subway system I've ever been in. I've been in Toronto. I've been in New York. I've been in Washington, D.C. subways. I've been in subways in different places. But the deepest ones are in Moscow. They're way deeper than the rest of them. And, well, if you happen to be there in the nuclear, I'll show you in a minute. They're actually very artful. So look here. According to Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations, in the event of a nuclear attack on Moscow, so this is from their own words, there is space underground in underground facilities for all of the population of Moscow. Is that much? Well, I don't know. Would they all survive to get underground? I don't know. Yes, it says here, it's a very bold claim. But indeed, Moscow is famous for these bunkers. And so let's have a look at what they got here. So they got different levels. They have 4 types. They have basement bunkers, which are in houses and businesses all over Moscow. There's the Metro, Metro 2, and Sphere. Now the Metro is the one that is the normal subway system, but they got something even bigger. You see, the first 2 types, being the basement and the Metro, are used for civil defense. That means for the civil citizens, regular everyday people. The last 2 are used primarily by military and government agencies. Sphere, you imagine that is probably control center, right? Metro 2 and Sphere. The largest and most famous civil defense systems in Russia is a Moscow Metro in top today. And is specifically engineered to protect against nuclear attack. Yes, boasting not only depth, but reinforcements on the tunnels and blast doors that allow for a total seal against blast pressure and fallout. We don't have that in our subway stations. Let me tell you that. You go to Washington, D.C., everything's wide open. They have the blast doors. These doors are usually restricted to main stations. Outlying stations have less or no blast protection. Okay, that answers that. Newer stations are usually built with blast protection and use modern military methods. So there you go. So, and dotted all around Moscow. We're going to show you some pictures of these guys. Let's have a look. Again, here's somebody asked Coral if these were built to withstand blast, and they go, oh yeah. It's not off. So the question was, is Moscow Metro designed to be used in a nuclear war? So this is a big question answer. And this answer is definitely. The Moscow Metro system was created with additional function in mind to serve as the biggest nuclear shelter for Moscow citizens. It's got to be the biggest one in the world. Oh yeah, by the way, what I have heard, that might have been back when I was in the Army, back in the day, the Soviet Union, which is today Russia, what's left of it, has fallout shelters for livestock, for farm livestock. We're talking cattle, chicken, pigs, rabbits. Well, if you want to survive, that makes sense. But who else has that? So yeah, so some of the stations were built in the atomic era in the 50s. All right, guys. These are probably the least pretty scenes you're going to see of Moscow subway stations, because and of course this is in the tunnels themselves. The Moscow in the stations themselves. Oh, okay, there's a blast door. Service tunnels to prevent contamination. So you got some service tunnels, you got the glass doors. Each station, so they can access adjacent tunnels. The engines pumping everything. Here's some probably a blast door back in here. What's really amazing about the Moscow subway stations, there's a blast door shut down over the rail, it looks like. So, here's what's interesting, guys. The Moscow Metro is one of the most artful places you've ever seen. These rail stations are actually beautiful works of art. They include the little carvings on the wall. I've been in here. I've been in these, there. I've been in most of the Moscow subway stations. So when I was there, we were running around all over the city. And you just walk through these things. If you've never been them before, you just look up and go, wow. And everyone's different. Everyone is different. Every station is completely different. Of course, I'm have artwork that celebrate the days of communism. Most unfortunately. Stained glass. I mean, just different kinds of artwork everywhere you go. In there. Some of them have the ceilings painted even more. I don't know. I'm not seeing more of that. You got the, yeah, remember those guys. And this down at the end of the tunnel here, I've seen that. I think there's a picture here in a minute. There we go. Been there, seen that. They're all works of art. And they have art all through them. Each one was different. Kind of Romanesque, right? Well, at least in Doomsday, they'll be able to marvel at the art. They'll have something to keep them distracted. Well, they might be the happiest bug-out bunker people in the world there in Moscow. Stop share. So, guys. That's what we're talking about, guys. They don't have the weapon systems. They've got bunkers. Bunkers of bunkers and bunkers. They got more bunkers than anybody in the world. And apparently their grid's hardened. Moscow has a lot of advantages in a nuclear war beyond us. We don't want to engage Moscow in a nuclear war. We do not want to do that. In fact, we hope that if we get in a war with China, that Moscow doesn't come waltzing in. If they do, we are in deep. Now, I said a long time ago, we should make peace with Russia and then deal with China. And we've been poking both, unfortunately. Now, Russia's no saint by a long shot. But our biggest existential threat today, if we don't get into war with Russia, is China. China's our biggest threat. So we've got to find a way to contain it. In fact, they're actually Russia's long-term threat too. Maybe not immediately, but long-term, yes. And Russians know that. That's how we could possibly one day, have some kind of understandings with them that we don't currently have. But anyway, so much for all that. So my friends, this is when you really need to prep above all. Grid down and prospects war. Get the war, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Yeah, your grid's going to be taken out. So you still got to grid down. And maybe the worst thing of the whole thing is a nuclear winter. All right, let's hope for the best. Let's hope and pray for the best and prepare for the worst. Don't be scared, be prepared. That's all I can say. Because we know not if these things will come to pass, but they could. They could. The whole attitude of what people are saying, even on our side, the whole idea of these nuclear bunker busters aren't nuclear war, but they're nuclear. What point leads to escalation? Even with China, with their rocket forces, they got so many rockets to be lobbing our aircraft, everything else out there. How do we know that some of those won't be nuclear? What would tip us to maybe up the ante in response to them? There's just too many questions. There's too many variables. All right, my friends, with that I'm going to say, again, let's hope and pray for the best, but do be prepared for the worst. Spread the word to your family, your friends. Everybody needs to get ready to prepare. Buy seeds. I got them below the True Leaf Market. And buy and check out these mills. You don't have to buy them, but check them out. See if it's right for you. I think with everything going on, you need to think hard about it. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to say thank you for watching.